Welcome back to Awesome Possum Hobbies and Games. I'm Chris, and it's time for another Modern Horizons 3 opening. This one is a commander deck. It's called Creative Energy. Let's check it out. Modern Horizons 3 commander deck. This is Creative Energy. So it's the blue, red, and white deck that revolves all around energy counters. So this deck includes a 2 legendary traditional foils and a collector's booster sample pack. And it's, of course, a 99 card deck plus a commander. So let's go ahead and check it out. Just open her up. A do not steal style thing. Inside is a cardboard box. Nice little spin down counter. I always give these to newbies at my local game store. These cardboard boxes go straight into recycling because they're not very useful. And also in the little back pouch is the Modern Horizons 3 sample collector pack. So we'll check that out a little bit later. So inside is some counters, some other counters just for use for whatever game. Inside is the deck, and also a little fold out that has information about Creative Energy, how to play the deck, and commander rules. On the back has more information about the actual history of the character that the deck is based around. So let's go ahead and go on to the deck itself. Zoom in here. And then open her up. So, first card, of course, is the Commander. The Commander is Satya, Aetherfulx Genius for a white, a red, a blue, and 1 generic. Legendary creature, human artificer with menace and haste. When this card attacks, create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of up to 1 other target non-token creature you control. You get 2 energy counters, and at the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice that token unless you pay an amount of energy equal to its mana value. Remember, not legendary, can't be legendary. Next one is the secondary commander that you could also build the deck out of, or you could build different decks with, is Kath, Famed Mechanist, a white, a red, a blue, and 1 generic for a 3/3 legendary creature, dwarf artificer. So great artificer for those who want to play it with it. She makes an excellent addition to a Brea deck. This card has Fabricate 1. When this creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it, or create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. She's a 3/3. Other non-token creatures you control have Fabricate 1. So when you cast those cards, when they enter the battlefield, you get to Fabricate 1. You can give +1/+1 counter or create another servo 1/1 colorless artifact creature token. Or it also has the ability to pay 2 generic and tap and choose 1. You can populate, so you create another token, or proliferate, making all your creatures, or you can increase all your +1/+1 counters, or -1/-1 counters, or whatever you have that have different kinds of counters. Next card. I'm not going to stop on the commons or uncommons unless they are new specifically for the deck. Bespoke Wagon, this is a great card or a great addition to the Science deck that came out of the Fallout Universes Beyond series. For a blue and 3 colorless, it's a 5/6 artifact vehicle that you can crew for 4, or you can tap it to create 2 energy counters, or you can tap it and pay 2 energy to tap target creature, or you can tap and pay 3 energy to draw a card, or you can pay 4 energy and this card becomes an artifact creature until end of turn, so you don't have to crew it. And it's a good way to be able to just create lots of energy counters. Royal Cartographer, which is just uncommon from the set. We'll just stop on things that are interesting. Amped Raptor. This card is actually pretty cool for a red and 1 generic. It's a 2/1 creature dinosaur with first strike, and as it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters. Then if you cast it from your hand, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast a card by paying an amount of energy equal to its mana value rather than paying its cost. So it's a good way to be able to just continue to escalate the game. Solar Transformer is a great addition to this deck. It's a 2 generic mana artifact, and Solar Transformer enters the battlefield tapped. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy counters. It taps to produce a colorless, or you can tap and pay a energy to add 1 mana of any color. I'm just going to stop interesting cards. Good old Command Tower, good old Burnished Heart, and Arcane Signet, and Soul Ring. Those are great, basic foundation for any deck. Here's a great card from the Commander set, Era of Innovation, for a blue and 1 generic. It's an enchantment. When an artifact or an artificer enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1. If you do, you get 2 energy counters, and then you pay 6 energy, sacrifice this card to draw 3 cards. Sphinx of Revelation for a blue, a white, and 3 generic. It's a 4/5 artifact Sphinx with flying and lifelink. Whenever you gain life, you get that many energy counters, and for a white, 2 blue, and tap and pay X energy, you get to draw X cards. Filigree Eraser, another rare from the Commander for Modern Horizons 3 for a red and 3 generic. It's for a 5/5 artifact vehicle. When it enters the battlefield, you get 4 energy counters, and whenever it attacks, you may pay 2 energy. When you do, target instant or sorcery card in your graveyard gains Jumpstart till end of turn. If you don't know what Jumpstart is, you may cast that card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to its paying its other cost. Then you have to exile it. And in order to have this be a creature, you have to crew 1. Localized Destruction. This is a great little creature removal card. 2 white, 3 generic. For sorcery, you get an energy counter, and then you may pay 1 or more. If you do, each creature you control with power equal to the amount of energy paid this way gains indestructible till end of turn. Then you destroy all creatures. Great little Wrath of God effect. Aether Refiner, 2 red, 4 generic. Artifact, if you get 1 or more energy counters, you get twice that many energy instead. Tap, you get an energy, then you may pay 1 or more energy. If you do, create an XX black Aetherborn creature token with X is the amount of energy paid this way. Just remember, when you tap to get that energy, you get 2 instead. Hourglass of the Lost. This card's cool. For a white and 2 generic, it is an artifact. You tap to produce a white mana, put a time counter on this card, then tap, remove X time counters from the Hourglass, and exile it. Return each non-land permanent card with mana value of X from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. Salvation Colossus, 2 white, 6 generic for a 9/9 artifact creature with it's a construct. Flying, Vigilance, Trample. Whenever you attack, other creatures you control will get +2/+2 and indestructible until end of turn. Unearth, you can bring it back for 1 turn by paying 8 energy, and then it is exiled. Blaster Hulk, 2 red, 6 generic for an 8/8 artifact creature pirate, and this spell costs 1 generic less. For each energy counter you've paid or lost this turn, has haste, and artifacts, whenever this creature attacks, you get 2 energy, and then you may pay 8. When you do, this card deals 8 damage among up to 8 targets. Razorfield Ripper. This card's cool. For a white and 2 generic, it's a 3/3 artifact creature equipment Rhino. So you can play it or you can reconfigure it. So you can play it as a 3/3, or once it's a 3/3, you can reconfigure. So whenever this card or equipped creature attacks, you get an energy counter, and then it gets +X/+X, where X is the amount of energy you have. Reconfigure, you can pay 2 to make it an equipment, and then you can pay 3 energy to attach it as an equipment as well. While it's equipped, it is not a creature. Silver Quill Lecturer for a white and 4 generic. creature core wizard. It's a 3/3. Creature spells you control have demonstrate. So whenever you cast a creature spell, you may copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. Each copy becomes a token. Overclocked Electromancer for a red and 2 generic. It's a 2/2 creature lizard wizard. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 3 energy. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on this card. Whenever it attacks, double its power till end of turn. Whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, if that creature was dealt excess damage this turn, you get X energy, where X is the excess damage. Stone Idol Generator, 5 generic mana. It's an artifact. Whenever a creature you control attacks, you get an energy counter, and then you pay 6 energy, create a 6/2 construct artifact creature token with trample. You can only activate that as a sorcery. Or a Shifter. This card is, it's probably one of the cheapest rares in the entire deck, but it is interesting. I think it's much more interesting than the pre-orders say it is. For a blue and 1 generic, it's a 1/3. It deals combat damage to player. You get that many energy at the beginning of combat on your turn. You may pay 2 energy. When you do, this card becomes a copy of another target creature you control, except it has this ability. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you get that much energy. So if you have a non-legendary creature, you can do a lot of damage for only 2 mana. If you're playing an energy deck, this guy or this girl can do a lot. So keep an eye on her if you're wanting to make changes to this deck. I think this is kind of an auto include. Conversion Apparatus, 3 generic mana for an artifact. Tap, produce a colorless 3, and you get tap and you get 3 energy counters, and then tap and pay 3 energy, add 3 mana in any combination of colors. Gandhi's Heart, which is a reprint, which is kind of cool. Lightning Runner, another reprint. Aether Tide Whale, another reprint. This is kind of cool. We're going to stop on that for a second. So it's a 6/4 for 6 mana, which is not great. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you get 6 energy counters, and then pay 4. Return Aether Tide. Well, never mind. It's not great. If you have lots of mana, you're able to generate lots and lots of energy, but you have to have a ton of mana to do it. So it's not great, but it's a reprint, so it's kind of interesting. We'll keep going until we see something interesting. Temple of Enlightenment. Temple cards are great. Scry. Battle Sphere. Mirror's Battle Sphere. Grenzo Havoc Razor. That guy's interesting. Coveted Jewel, which I think that's kind of like one of the first cards you get cut. But Goldspan Dragon, this is a great reprint. For 2 red, 3 generic, it's a 4/4. Flying Haste, and whenever a dragon spell, whenever you cast, whenever this attacks or becomes a target of a spell, create a treasure token. Treasures you control have tap and sacrifice this artifact to add 2 mana of any one color instead of just 1. So it helps speed you up. Legion Loyalty, it's a great 8 drop for enchantment. And controls you control have mirrored, so whenever you attack something, let's say Goldspan attacks 1 player and you've got 2 other players, you create a token of it and they're attacking as well. So you get lots of treasure. It's a kind of a cool include, though I think that card usually gets cut because it costs so much. Getting to 8 is, in a lot of different formats, is rough. Darker Waste, Shivan Reef, lots of pain lands. Coalition Relic, Combustible Gearhulk. Aetherfulx Marvel. This card was banned when it was in standard. For 4 generic mana legendary artifact. Whenever a permanent you control is put into a graveyard, you get an energy counter. Pay 6 energy, and you get to look at the top 6 cards of your library. You can cast from a spell from among them without paying its mana cost. Put the bottom of your deck in a random order. This card was great about getting Ulamog in play for just a few energy, and energy decks just abused it. So try to abuse it if you can. Angel of Invention, Confiscation Coup, Aetherstorm Rock, Aether Squall Ancient. That's the card I was thinking of previously when I saw another blue card. For 2 blue, 5 generic, it's a 6/6 creature Leviathan. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get 3 energy counters. Then if you pay 8 energy, return all other creatures to their owner's hands, activate only as a sorcery. So if you have enough energy when you play them and put them in play, it's kind of like a single-sided Cyclonic Rift, except it only affects creatures. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It does affect your stuff except for this guy, but at the same time, it's a good thing because you're able to activate it over and over and over again as long as you have 8 energy. And this is an energy deck, so it's able to generate energy pretty quickly. It's got some pretty good lands in it for a deck. Midnight Clock, great addition. A Professional Facebreaker for this is a great reprint for red and 2 generic. It's a 2/3 creature human warrior with menace. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you get to create a treasure token. Sacrifice the treasure, exile top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. Farewell, that's another great include. That card never gets old. Port Town, Temple of Triumph, love those temple cards. Solmicrum, another temple, Stream, Skyclave Apparition, Castle Ventress, Aether Hub. This card's great. Back in the day, it was kind of almost an auto include in every energy deck. In this deck, it's kind of the same. It's just a land, and it comes into play with 1 energy counter. And you can tap, add a colorless, or you can tap and pay energy to add 1 mana of any color. So this is a great card to be able to fix decks. And in this deck, it produces any color you need because you're going to be generating lots of energy. Ducation, I say that 3 times fast. Decoction module for 2 generic mana. It's an artifact. Whenever an artifact creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get an energy counter, pay 4. Return target creature you control to its owner's hand. Glimmer Genius, Warlayer Virtuoso, some Talismans, Swords of Plowshares, Whiffer's Bauble, Demolition Field, Mystic Monastery, and I bet the rest are all lands and tokens. Let's go through here real fast. A thick stuff card. I'm not a fan of these. Some people are. They should have offered instead the full border instead of these. I know why they didn't, but some tokens, energy / servo, Aetherborn / servo, illusion / servo, Phyrexian Mirror / servo, copy, treasure copy, gremlin copy, Thopter, construct, mirror, Aetherborn / Thopter, and of course we can just go on to this sample pack. Let's go ahead and see what's inside it. It's only supposed to have 2 cards. Hopefully it's 2 goodies. There's our advertisement. And hey, look, there's a full border of the same commander, Satya, Aetherfulx Genius, and then Evolutionary Witness foil. Not some great picks, but at the same time, it's better than not getting any at all. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, have a fantastic day, and remember to keep it rolling.
And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please take the time to like the video and subscribe if you'd like to stay updated. Have a great day, and keep them rolling.